how has this affected your confidence? Tremendously. I am far more of a confident person now than I have ever been before. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. This is it. This is the 1 year post-top surgery video and I'm so excited to make it. It's been a long time coming and my gods, this year has absolutely flown by. For anyone who has just stumbled across this video, who may not have seen my previous vlog about it, I have vlogged my journey. There are 2 vlogs currently on my channel and they'll both be linked down below in the description and there'll be one up in one of these corners. So for a little bit more context about me, my name is Alex, or Captain Whelmed, however you wish to call me. I am a trans masc non-binary person who has gone through top surgery but is not currently on any form of hormones. So that's my journey. I've experienced dysphoria around my chest for as long as I remembered. I was quite unfortunate in terms of I grew quite a large chest while I was going through female puberty, I suppose. And it just made me really uncomfortable. For the last few years, I've tried to wear sports bras as much as I could to compress my chest. I wasn't able to bind due to both sensory issues and breathing issues, so sports bras was my only real option. So I wanted to create a video for anyone that's looking to get top surgery themselves, that may be in very much my position, or anyone else that's just looking to get top surgery. This is my journey, it's not going to be the same for everyone. I am very fortunate for how my process went. I'm fully aware some of the waiting lists across the UK for NHS funded things are 58 weeks long just for your first GIC consultation. I want to preface, I went completely privately and I was very, very fortunate in order to have the money to do so. To start with, I asked for a referral from my doctor to go to Tavistock. They took a while sending over papers, so instead I emailed around a couple of GICs and I ended up with the one and only, the amazing Dr. Lorimer. And I was so fortunate. He had a cancellation from the moment that I emailed him. It was like a 2-3 week wait, maybe something like that, in order for me to get my first appointment. So if I'm not mistaken, my consultation with Dr. Lorimer cost me around £300, and then on top of that, for the official documents and additional signing, it was another 50. But I may be wrong. Do go have a look. I will link his website down below, so that will have all of the facts that you need. But the initial consultation was 300 quid for an hour. He basically signed me off there and then. And I was very fortunate in order to do so. I didn't think that I was going to need a second opinion because I didn't want to be on testosterone. It meant that the process for me was so much easier, because typically in order to get top surgery, and correct me if in the comments if I'm not wrong, you have to be on testosterone for at least a year before you can, so that you can allow your body to start going through all of those changes. That wasn't what I needed in my case. So he signed me off and I sent that referral over to 2 surgeons. I had a surgeon up in Manchester and one in London that I was looking at, and it took me a while to decide who I wanted to go for, just because both of them had pros and cons, and I will go through some of the questions to answer that. So that's what's happened. During my surgery process, I was in a binder for 12 days. In fact, I did not have to have drains, and I had double incision surgery with no nipple grafts. So this is what my chest looks like now. And we're going to be showing you pictures throughout the process of what my chest has looked like in its recovery. And after about 6 weeks, I was given the sign off to start working out. So I've developed quite a decent chest that's quite a lot of muscle, and if anyone wants tips and hints about that, I can do something for you to help, because having such a flat chest was such an extreme difference for me, and I wanted to build something a little bit more masculine. That was my journey in regards to my appointments and my surgery and all of that. Let's answer some questions, shall we? All of these questions were submitted anonymously. I put up a Google form on all of my socials so that people could contact me. So the first question, how young were you when you knew you wanted surgery? So for someone like myself, I didn't realize that top surgery was an option for non-binary people. I thought, okay, I've got to be a trans man in order to do so. I've got to go on testosterone. I've got to go through the entire process, but that wasn't the case. So I don't think I realized I wanted surgery, specifically top surgery, which is such a drastic and such a big procedure to go through. I don't think I knew I wanted it until 18, 19, so it was quite late on, but I've always had sort of dysphoria around my chest since I can remember. The next question is, did you have support from friends, family, and partners? So my friends were so incredibly supportive. A lot of them helped donate. I put up a GoFundMe because surgery cost me about 8 grand in the end. It was a lot of money. I am very fortunate that I got my first job around about that time, so I saved every penny I could from that job. Not to put it away, but my friends were really, really supportive. My partner was so supportive. They pretty much played nurse, and I got to stay at theirs because I ended up going to the surgeon in Manchester, and they live up in Manchester. I stayed at theirs for 4 weeks worth of my recovery, so if that's a test on anyone's relationship, that definitely is. But they were the most supportive person. I couldn't have asked for more. They helped me through the entire process from day one of looking for GICs and all the way up until post-surgery and dressing my wounds and everything. They were absolutely incredible. Family, it was a little bit difficult, if I'm gonna be completely honest. My brother and my mum were convinced that I should go to therapy beforehand to talk through it, how it could possibly be a phase. They thought I should hold off until I'm 25, because that's when your brain stops developing. And I've said this so many times, and this is a little bit of a trigger warning, but I would rather not be on this planet, as in existing and alive, than to have waited another 3 years before getting like a life-changing surgery. It has saved my life and it's changed me in so many amazing and positive ways. My family have also been very difficult when it comes to the name change and pronouns, especially because I go by they, them. That's just how it is. So it's been a bit of a mixed bag. Family now are incredibly supportive, and they've as much as they might not agree with my decisions, they're still going to support me, if that makes sense. How did you decide that top surgery was the right choice for you? I think this is a bit of an odd one, because I don't really know how I came to that conclusion. I suppose I'm a person that maybe does things in extreme measures. I'm fully aware that I could have got a breast augmentation and like just got a reduction, but at the end of the day, paying 8 grand for that rather than paying 8 grand for I wouldn't have wanted to pay 16 grand in total if I had wanted to get a reduction and then decided that I wanted top surgery. Anytime I look in the mirror, I've never seen myself with having a typically feminine body, an AFAB body. My dysphoria was so bad to points where I blacked out on what my torso looks like. So in my head, I was literally just shoulders, head, arms, and like hips down. I'm lucky I don't struggle with dysphoria relating to my nether regions, but I kind of thought, yeah, top surgery is going to be the right thing for me. I want a flat chest. I don't want nipples as well, just because I had no connection with them. They didn't really bring me anything. I know some people keep them for pleasure reasons. Some people keep them for other reasons. To me, I didn't really see the point in it. Plus, as someone that's tattooed, I eventually want to get my chest tattooed, and having nipples in the way just felt like a bit of a hassle. So I decided that was what I was going to do. Our next question is, were there any unexpected or surprising aspects of the top surgery experience that you didn't anticipate? I don't think so. I thought maybe the surgeons would talk me more into keeping my nipples. I mean, up until my surgery, like half an hour before I was meant to go down for my surgery, my surgeon came around, double checked and was like, "Are you sure this is what you want?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't want them." He was like, "Okay, cool." I expected there to be more pain. I don't really remember all of my surgery, like recovery, at least the first week, so I do go back and watch my vlog and have a little cry over it, if I'm brutally honest. But my pain peaked out at about a 7, maybe it got higher. I was prescribed codeine for recovery, and I didn't take it as much as I thought I was going to. I still have some left over, in fact. I thought I was going to be in so much more pain and basically bedbound for a lot longer. Now, granted, I'm a stubborn bastard. If I want to get up and move, I want to get up and move. But if anything, it was just discomfort. The most annoying thing about it for me was wearing a binder. What advice would you give to someone considering top surgery or in the early stages of their transitions? Put your research in. Everyone's experiences are different. I had barely seen anyone with my body type, at least, go through top surgery. Everyone I'd seen had gone with the notorious surgeon Miles Berry. Now, if you know why I'm rolling my eyes, you know why I'm rolling my eyes. He's not very good with bigger bodied people. Do your research of surgeons. Don't go for the first surgeon that you can find. Definitely, I mean, I was fortunate enough to be able to do a GoFundMe and have a lot of people put money in to help fund it, as well as having my job. If you're able to try and go privately, especially with the state the UK's in at the moment. We don't know whether these procedures and whether the gender clinics are actually going to be open in 2-3 years time, and the waiting lists are 2, 3, 5, 10 years long just for one appointment. Unfortunately, I can't give any advice on waiting times or anything when it comes to testosterone or taking hormones, because that's not my situation. Take your time with recovery as well, and find someone that will put up with you for 4, 6, 8 weeks, however long it needs to be, that is willing to essentially wipe your ass for you because your mobility is so shockingly bad. You will probably get on the nerves of someone. I am very fortunate that my partner was able to put up with me for 4 straight weeks, especially with my need to move around and actively do things. So find someone that you know is willing to help you through it. Did you have any fears or anxieties leading up to the surgery? If so, how did you manage them? So it sounds like a very irrational fear, but I was terrified of having drains, fully terrified of having drains. I struggle with a lot of sensory issues, especially around my chest. And the thought of having like tubes in them, if you don't know what drains are, this is what they look like. Thought of having tubes in my chest for 24 hours and then, just thinking about it makes me really uncomfortable. And then having them pulled out, no thank you. I had anxieties that I was going to be rejected or my results were going to be botched. And I did have anxieties that I was going to regret it. I was nervous about maybe regretting it because other people have told me that I might. Anyone that's met me in person or anyone that has been with me since this journey to this very point in time knows how much of a difference it has made to me as a person. So managing them, it was just a case of talking to people that have also had surgery with the same surgeon, and talking to other people that have had top surgery, whether it's the same surgeon or not, because you probably all have the same fears. The next question is, how did you prepare yourself mentally and physically for surgery and the recovery period? Physically, I didn't do much, if I'm honest. Brutally honest, I didn't work out beforehand to build a chest. I had previously got experience in weightlifting, so I had a decent bit of muscle under the tissue as it is. Mentally, I just thought about how much it's going to change my life, and that was that, honestly. I just had to realize that the recovery period, I'm going to have to essentially sit down and shut up and go through it so that I could have the results that I wanted, and so that I could be in a comfortable position and be happy with my results after that. Other people will do a lot, and other people will tell you to do a lot, and if I'm honest, it is a personal choice at the end of the day. How did you navigate the process of finding a surgeon, choosing the right one for your needs? What criteria were important to you in selecting a surgeon? For me, the main thing was someone that was going to not force me to have nipples, firstly, and secondly, someone that can work with bigger bodies and has got good results with bigger bodies. I am a very broad person. I had a spreadsheet of 2 surgeons that I wanted, and I did pros and cons, where I'd be staying, who I'd be staying with, who I'm close to, all of those things. I think that was the most important thing for me. Yeah, looking at the results that they've brought out with different body types, both with nipples, without nipples, periareola, the singular scar that some people have. I have a good friend of mine, he's got one all the way through, and the results are incredible. Some people have got double incision, just like I have. Someone that works with bigger bodies was the most important thing to me. Someone says, congrats on 1 year. I have a few questions. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute whirlwind of a time. Their first question is, what was the surgery experience like? The surgery experience for me, the actual day was pretty easy. I got given my surgery date. My surgery was at 11 a.m. that day. I went in, I think it's something like 6 a.m. And they told me, look, we're going to move you up to 8 a.m. and that was amazing. All of the nurses and the staff were incredible. Got dressed. I met with my surgeon just before. He marked up my chest. He spoke me through the procedure, what it was going to be like. I then went down for surgery like 2 hours earlier than I was meant to, come back up. I was very in and out for quite a while. I think I called a whole bunch of people on Discord. I sat on call with them, just super spacey. I was super bloated. The binder was super like tight on me. And if I'm honest, I was out the same day. The next question I have in this series of questions is, how long did it take you to feel relatively normal? It took me to feel normal in like my chest, until the point that I could put my arm up without feeling any sort of tightness and pulling. Now that probably took about 6 weeks. Following on, they're asking, how's my sensation? My sensation's pretty good, so I can feel everything around my pec, I can feel underneath it as well on my ribs, but on the actual scars themselves, some parts are still quite numb. There's a chance that I won't ever feel those bits, but that's fine by me. I don't really need to feel the scars. I guess it would be more important if I had nipple grafts, if I couldn't feel them after a certain amount of time. But it can take up to 18 months full internal recovery to start feeling things. And there is a chance that you'll have dead spots of sensation. What have you done to mitigate scarring? So mitigating scarring, I can't really advise on this one just because I want my scars always to be present even once I've got my chest and torso tattooed. But one of the products that I swear by that has helped at least lighten my scars and make them feel smoother is this Palmer's Cocoa Butter Stretch Marks. I know it looks like it's specifically for pregnant people. If you put some of this on every day and just massage it into your scars and stretch marks, it's really helped reduce things. And I mean, my scars are super light here. As you can tell, they're pretty much white rather than red. So that's definitely helped. Building up working out, I took my time. In order to build my chest, I do a lot of cable chest flies, I do a lot of bench press, I try and do like dumbbell presses as well, try and work as much of the chest muscle as possible. I still have some empty spots of muscle and I'm trying to work on and focus on building them. This is what my chest looks like now compared to then. So this is post-surgery. This is currently with the build of chest. My scars, yes, they've stretched at the very front, but that's probably from working out too soon and probably going heavy too soon. Our next question is a very funny question. And they've asked, do I miss them? No, absolutely not. If anything, they caused me back pain, they caused me so much like unneeded dysphoria and problems surrounding my body. No, I'm so glad that they are gone and probably incinerated somewhere. This is not really a question, but someone has asked for tips / items for recovery. So I will put everything that I bought down in the bio. So I got a small little pillow that attaches to the seatbelt, so when you're in a car it doesn't press against your fresh wounds or your scars because they are quite tender to begin with. I then also had one of those giant pregnancy pillows like the one here, and it's just this big sort of, it looks like one massive rectangle or oval, but there's a tiny bottom cut out because you have to sleep on your back for something like 6 weeks, and you have to sleep at a 45-degree angle. I didn't buy anything to help me sleep at that angle, so I just sort of stacked pillows together. And additionally, one of these was very helpful, a mastectomy pillow. Now, I got my surgery in the height of summer during a heat wave where it was like 34 degrees. Somehow I didn't feel the heat, but I had one of those mastectomy pillows over, and I was able to put my phone in it, I was able to put any snacks in it. Talk to your surgeon first, but ask if you can take breaks from your binder throughout the days. So I started with maybe about 20 minutes of a break a few days after because I was in so much pain. I was so hunched over. I needed a break from it. And we sort of worked up every day. We did a couple of minutes more up until the point where I was allowed a few hours out of my binder, and it was probably the best part of my day, because you find yourself so restricted and so hunched over. Now, I'm not used to wearing a binder, so those that are, when you do get your surgery, it's probably going to be very different. Take some multivitamins, 100% take some multivitamins. Be careful with what you can eat, especially if you get nausea that's triggered very easily. I ate a lot of salty and carb heavy foods, and that probably wasn't the best idea. How has this affected your confidence? Tremendously. I am far more of a confident person now than I have ever been before, and it's constantly getting boosted. Don't get me wrong, I still do struggle with anxiety and depression and other things that force me to become very introverted in situations that I don't do well in or I can't handle, but my confidence is through the roof. I would never want to wear like skin tight shirts, never want to be shirtless. And saying this, I'm so incredibly self-conscious about my tummy, like my stomach. I hate it. I'm trying to work it out. Like, I'm trying to work it off by working out. I hate it, but in some situations, I can gladly walk around shirtless. I can sit on a Twitch stream shirtless. I don't need to button them all the way up to the collar and look like I'm sort of drowning them. I can wear them open, and I will do that in public, and it's felt so freeing, and it's really, really helped with my confidence. Someone under 18 get top surgery. Now, it all depends on the country. The UK, I'm not too sure, and if I'm honest, hand on my heart, I haven't done all that much research into it, and I probably should. As far as I'm aware, it is done on a case-by-case basis. Some places you'll be able to see 16, but as far as I'm aware, at least in the UK, especially privately, which is how I went about mine, you have to be over the age of 18. Do you get phantom boob pain? So this is a weird one. At the start I did, like, weirdly, I've had dreams where I've had to like put on a bra and or like use tape, and then I wake up and I'm like, well, that's not real, is it? I think at the very start I used to, but because I had sort of like wiped my torso and my chest from my brain somehow due to my dysphoria, it wasn't really all a thing. I think some people expected it to be more. Short answer, no, not really. Do the scars look weird, or do they have dog ears? Some people are going to think my scars look weird. Some people are going to think I look even weirder and alien-like because I have no nipples, and to me that brings me a little bit of joy. I find it quite funny. Yes, I have dog ears, probably, but that's due to the amount of weight that I carry around my back. I carry a lot of my fat on my back and on my stomach, and it's only once I get rid of all of that, or as much as I can, will I be able to find out that I have dog ears. So that's a waiting game. What did you do with all your old clothes and bras? So old clothes, I wore loads of like men's clothing anyway. Clothes don't have a gender, but I wore loads of men's clothing anyway, so old clothes weren't really a thing. My old bras, I was only wearing sports bras. I threw out any sort of underwire bras that I had long before surgery. I was only wearing sports bras. I had one really nice one from Tomboy that I gave to my partner, and I had some other really tight ones. I think I just threw them in the bin. I wanted to set them on fire and do like a little bonfire with them to like mark the end of an era, but they were full of like elastic and plastic, so probably a bad idea. Did anyone in your family disagree with your decision? They didn't know what it was like to have my dysphoria. I would never wish dysphoria upon anyone, but I did wish that they could understand how difficult it was to every day wake up, not want to look in the mirror, and just be completely disassociated with your body, to the point where, like, if I knocked against my chest, or if I felt any part of my like the skin from my chest, I would be sent into like a sensory meltdown. Like, it was bad. So I wish they could understand that, but I'd never wish them to experience what I experienced, because it was dreadful. It was difficult. Do you still get misgendered? Now, this is a funny one. Yes, my voice is one of my new biggest dysphoria things. I feel like my voice isn't as deep as it should be. and it depends on the way I hold myself on whether I get misgendered or not. So sometimes yes, sometimes I still get miss and ma'am and she, heard, and on the days where I really can't be asked, I don't correct people because it's not a lot. Because it's too much hassle for what it's worth to be like, excuse me, I go by they, them. Props to the people that can. I personally, with my anxiety, I can't deal with it. I don't want to have to go through the whole rigmarole. Now, for me as someone that uses they, them, I get misgendered on he, him, but that's a lot less dysphoria for me these days. I would rather be seen as he, him than she, her. That's for sure. So I've had people call me sir, I've had people, you know, use he, him for me, and cool. It means I don't have to explain myself, I don't have to out myself, not that I want to be stealth in any way, but it means that I don't have to go through this entire process of explaining everything. What was the worst part about recovery? For me, it was the uncomfiness of my binder. Because I've never binded before, having something so skin tight and compressing against all of my skin, you can feel all of the seams, all of the stitching. It was horrible. It was so incredibly itchy, along with the weather. It was not it. That was the worst bit about it. I also suffer with, I'm a chronic side sleeper, but I suffer with like quite a bad lower back. Yeah, I mean, I peaked out quite a lot in pain some days because of the way I had to sleep just purely on my back and with like the tightness of the binder. So for me personally, it was the binder. The next question is a very interesting question, and I don't really know how much insight I can provide on it, but what would you improve about the top surgery application process, NHS and private? So for me, private was really, really easy. NHS, well, as we know in the UK, there's not a lot of funding going towards it, and with the government that we have, they're going to want to keep taking away any sort of funding and any sort of access to it. But privately, it was a breeze. I emailed my GIC, I got a cancellation. I was so lucky. I got a cancellation date. If not, I think it would have been 6 months later due to a waiting list. So I got that cancellation appointment, turned up to that appointment, got the sign off being like, yes, you have gender incongruence or dysphoria. Incongruence is slightly different. Got the sign off, said, I highly doubt you're going to need a second opinion. I passed all of that on along with my social transition documents. Surgeon got freed up. He took a while to get back to me. I got a response, and then within maybe about 6 weeks, I got a first consultation date. Did my consultation date, did all the things, then I provided dates that I was looking for surgery, got given my surgery date, and that was that. The rest is really history. So I was incredibly lucky with the private side of things. NHS, all I can say is I just want there to be more funding for it. I wish for it to be more easily accessible for a lot of people, and for the waiting lists to not be so absolutely dire and difficult. So yeah, that has been all of the questions that we have for today. Thank you so much to everyone that has reached out and who has asked them. It's been an absolute blast being able to talk through my experience, and hopefully some of these answers have been able to help people with their journeys and with the process, and I hope I've explained things properly and not just sort of babbled on, because I have a habit of doing that. I've been your humble captain, and if you ever want more of these sorts of Q&As about my journey, I'm more than happy to talk to you in the comments, or if you want to hit me up on my socials, it is at Captain Whelmed everywhere. So yeah, come and check me out, and for now, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.